I will die on that hill.
I absolutely love Miley Cyrus.
You have failed this.
Love this show.
The sickest snipe ever.
Is this? What are we doing?
No. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Call Guys podcast. I'm Gunner, also known as Chico Noise, 3-time podcast host. And once again, I want to thank all of you listeners out there for all of the positive feedback on the last 42 episodes and counting. We're happy to be here with you guys every week, and we hope you're enjoying what we put out. Alongside me, as always, my good friend Colton Keel, or as I like to call him, Juan Keel for 3, or as the Emperor likes to call him, Vanilla Thunder. And our 3 special guests from A Court of Books and Booze, a podcast coming out this Friday. We have the Skywalker, also from Golden Image podcast, Jessica, the Skywalker's wife, and my sister-in-law. Why'd you say
it's so weird?
What did I say weird?
You made it sound like it was a question, like my sister.
Well,
yeah, I'm offended.
Wait. No, at their wedding in my speech, sister-in-law, no in-law needed, because she's been in my life for the last, 15 years?
I don't know.
That was in my speech. Do you guys not read have you never read my speech a second time? It's on a scroll. It's on a scroll.
If you can't find it, that's what it's on.
We have the Skywalker. The Skywalker has found a parchment.
Yes, it is the scroll of 1,000 speeches.
Scroll. 1,000 speeches.
What a beautiful thing. And also, we have Amanda, longtime Call Guys listener, and I guess I've heard that she's kind of Skylar and Jess's best friend.
That's what I've gotten away from it too. I don't know how true it is. It sounds like there is a broken fragment in the relationship that is the friendship that once was.
Yeah, it seems like
Care to elaborate?
Is this the Call Guys or is this now counseling? I can't really tell either. So
I don't have my long couch.
We do it. We do everything. We do everything here at the Call Guys.
I probably would not be. I would not be a good counselor.
I really don't know what the problem is. I feel like it's Skylar's problem. So
feel like Skylar's the problem.
Skylar's just the problem right now.
I don't take well to being bullied.
Bullies get bullied. That's right, Skywalker. Yeah. That's right.
Colton's my boy.
That's right.
Bullies get bullied.
Don't you guys bully each other back and forth? Yeah,
they do a lot, all the time. All the time.
It's like that weird, brotherly thing where it's like, oh, we'll bully each other, but the minute you start bullying him, that's not allowed. Yeah,
exactly.
No way.
Yes.
No way.
Yep. So true.
You're not allowed to steal Colton from me, Skywalker.
Colton is an honorary golden.
We went over this. I think we went over this during our Christmas episode with the Emperor. There is a problem.
Mojo.
There is a problem. I am way too tall for you people. Y'all are just about a foot too short.
Yep.
Yeah.
But I would love to be the tallest golden in the family.
Well, it's not a hard record to hold.
It goes like Grandma, Montana, me and Skylar are about the same. Well, no, Jess is probably in between Grandma and Montana.
You're probably right.
Yeah. And then it keeps going up from there. I don't know that anybody gets super tall. So yeah, you're in, Colton. Tallest golden.
I got that going for me.
Colton, you keep talking about though how you didn't get invited to Montana's wedding and how you keep missing out on all these golden weddings. So it sounds like there's a broken fragment in your relationship with the Goldens. So we should unpack that. Tell me more.
Well,
have a seat. Lay down on the couch.
It really stems from the fact that I'm just the newest golden to the party, and I feel like I'm just not beloved by and accepted by from all the other goldens. And I honestly believe it's because I have a hatred for everything DC besides Batman, because they suck at everything besides Batman. Am I right, Skylar?
You're valid. You're valid.
You're valid.
Your opinion is invalid. you guys talked about Adam Sandler last week, and you haven't seen Hustle. So suck it, Colton.
Look at.
Okay.
Actually, while we're on the subject of weddings, I just want to say, Nick, if you're listening, this is me mentioning your wedding on the podcast. So there you go.
Okay. Good plug.
Yep, got it. Nailed it.
My. No, my problem with Hustle is that it just looks so dang cheesy.
You've seen Uncut Gems.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would put it on par with Uncut Gems. It's not
Really?
it's not cheesy. It's obviously not as serious as Uncut Gems was, but man, I really enjoyed it, and I'm not a basketball guy. So
Well, I think that's my thing is that I'm a big NBA guy, and a lot of those guys I see on TV a lot, and just to I've seen trailers and just the way that they're acting, it's not like I feel like Sandler's the best actor, and I just don't know if he's your number one, if it's really gonna be that good of a movie.
yeah, but keep in mind, outside of acting, he plays a lot of basketball.
That is true.
He definitely knows his stuff.
Yeah, I guess that's true. I probably should give it a better shot.
Give it a shot.
No pun intended. No pun intended.
I enjoyed it very much.
Okay.
So.
Well, if the Skywalker says enjoy it, brother, then I will have to give it a shot.
So gross.
It ain't no Hubie Halloween.
Hey,
Halloween. I have seen that movie.
You do not badmouth.
I've never seen that movie.
You do not badmouth Hubie Halloween, okay? Them's are fighting words.
It's
that
a gem. It's a gem.
I can't even say it with a straight face. So bad.
It's a movie.
It is a movie.
And I think I will watch it every Halloween just because I will laugh through the entire thing.
Yeah. By the way, Colton, great conversation about Adam Sandler movies. I got a lot of people saying, well, you didn't mention this, you didn't mention this. And Montana said that if I wouldn't have mentioned The Puppy Who Lost Its Way, she probably would have sent us an email and yelled at us. So
well, I would have taken it.
Yeah. So you can say we have no emails again, listeners. Where are those emails? Bring them on.
Two for two. I'm worried about you guys.
That's right.
I'm worried.
All right, guys. How's everyone doing?
Well, do we want to allow them to introduce themselves? A little fun fact about them.
Well, yeah. How you doing? Introduce yourself.
Tell us a little something about yourself. Your maiden name,
social security number.
I didn't say that. Bank account.
Actually, if there's a camera right there, just hold your credit card up to it.
Don't worry, nobody watches us on YouTube, so you're fine.
Then Brandon could finally get his penguin point.
Oh gosh! Oh, come on.
Hey, he got his penguin point. He just got
nails.
an ice cream.
Do you know,
Brandon? Sorry,
Skywalker. Do you know if he has tried to use any of them?
I haven't talked to him because of the holidays.
Okay.
So.
Okay.
Well, when you see him next, ask. Make sure you ask. See if he actually used it for kids' meals or ice cream. If the ice cream machine was working.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
I feel so bad. Hey, it was fun. That's all that matters. He enjoyed it. It was good.
Yeah, that's true.
But yeah, okay, yeah. Tell us a little about yourself. How you doing? What's up? Anything exciting going on in your lives?
Tell us something about yourself and why you wanted to be a part of A Court of Books and Booze.
Oh, wow, Colton, take it away.
I'm just curious.
Jess.
Oh, hey.
You're first.
Okay. Yeah. No, I just started getting back into reading after a many year hiatus due to life at the beginning of summer, and it just essentially consumed my life again, and that was really just all I was wanting to do. And I got Skylar into some books I had been reading, and then Amanda expressed some interest, and so I was like, why don't we just book club this? Why don't we do it together? I think that would be fun. So it just ended up rolling and snowballing, and said, why not make it a podcast? So
became a podcast.
It became a podcast.
Story of our lives.
Figured we were going to be doing it anyway together. Why not just take it a step further?
I like it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Amanda.
I'm Amanda. Hi. Yeah, I've always been a big reader, I guess. I mean, since I was a kid, probably stopped a lot in college just because there's a lot of mandatory reading that wasn't always the best thing. I am in this group because Skylar asked me to be in this group. So it was
Nice.
like
Good reason to be there.
they had started reading the series. I was like, yeah, that sounds cool. I'll read it too. It sounds like a good series. And then Skylar goes, why don't we make this a podcast? And I said yes. And here we are. That's literally simple as that. So, and now we read a lot. And sometimes trying to find time around other life things gets crazy, especially recently with we all got married last year, the holidays, like all the things. So, but it's fun and recording is fun. So I think we've kind of all found a love for the whole podcast world. So yeah, it's been a good time. So
it's kind of crazy how that works out, because when Colton and I first discussed doing the Call Guys, it was actually going to be called the Colton Call, because Colton and I talked on the phone literally every Wednesday, and we said, well, let's just make it a part of Golden Image podcast, which my dad was working on. And then we recorded our first episode and it was 45 minutes long. We said, yeah, we should probably make it a podcast.
yeah. Well, and my very first taste of like the whole podcast recording thing is I was on like episode 3, I think, of Murdnerds before they were even part of Golden Mojo. Yeah. So it would literally be like, it was us like recording on a little computer in an apartment. So, but it was so fun to just sit and talk about a story. And then when we talked about doing this, it just became this thing. I was like, oh, well, I really liked the last time I did it. So let's see how it goes. And we have a blast, like just talking about differing opinions and different ideas and theories and where we think things are going to go, or especially when like the first series that we did was just so insane and intense. And so we were going back and forth, and Jess always felt like Skylar and I were ganging up on her until it seemed to be the opposite. And it's just fun. But Skylar is a sore loser, and I differ with him one time, and now we're not friends apparently. So
somewhat kind of friends. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like it.
So, but no, it's been a good time. So,
well, and if we're talking about like first tastes of being behind the mic, I mean, Skylar and I, what was it, 10 years ago at this point? We
let's see.
We did the radio show
2009 or 2010, so it's probably been 14 or 15
years. Oh my gosh, that's been a long time. Yeah, we in middle high school were part of the radio show that
Young Guns,
your dad originally did.
That's right. Yeah, that was 2008 to 2013, 2011.
Yeah, 11.
Yeah,
because then Sky went off to college. Yeah, and we just hosted local bands in the studio. That was a real fun time. Real fun time for the bit that we did.
It's fun to listen back because the Emperor posts the vintage episodes, and there's been some Young Gun shows on there. Skylar loves to listen to those.
I cannot bring myself to listen to those again. I haven't listened to
you just need to go back and listen to Skylar's laugh.
Oh my god. Oh my favorite thing
so
in the world.
Bad. It's so bad.
No, not at all.
Speaking of the Skywalker, welcome back. It's
Glad to be back.
It's been a month. Has it been a month?
Back again.
Close to a month. A little over a month.
I think it was early December, right?
Skylar's back.
I think so. Yep.
Tell a friend.
Oh, Skylar's back. Skylar's back. Skylar's back. Skylar's back.
Oh, whoa.
Glad to be here.
Yeah.
Glad to be hanging out with Colton again.
Hey!
Well, we're glad to have you back. Anything exciting going on? How's the pod going?
It's going. I'm a little overwhelmed with the amount of work I still have to do to get the first episode out. We're a week out. So
yes, you are.
We are recording this on the Friday before that releases. This releasing on Monday before. Getting a Quart of Books and Booze on here to preface their first episode, I thought would be kind of a cool idea. So I'm glad to have you all on here. Jess, you should listen to more Call Guys. We are kind of funny sometimes.
I don't listen to it, not because I don't want to, but I've explained this to you guys, man. I don't have the data capacity on my phone in our phone plan to be able to listen to this, because my only option, the only time I would have would be on the way to and from work. I can't listen at work with the office setting that I have. There's no possible way for me to do that. And so I don't have the data to listen to and from work. So
there's a smart TV in your living room.
Yeah, and that is more often than not on like Bluey or Mickey Mouse
I know.
or Power Rangers.
It could just be an opportunity for them to get to see their uncle.
You're not
Uncle
wrong.
Colton.
Yeah. Their tallest uncle.
Their favorite Golden.
Father Sky, Mother Earth, and your dear old Uncle Colton. That's right.
Oh man.
Oh, you're not wrong. You're not wrong.
So I'm gonna hit y'all with a couple questions. You're starting up this podcast come Friday. First episode will be edited. Skylar will get it done in time, and it'll be amazing, I'm sure.
Are these like? Is this like the question of the pod?
No, that is coming later. I do have a question.
Oh, look at this.
So I don't know how far you want to dive in. Is your first episode an introduction episode, or are you guys diving right into your first series of books?
Episode 0 is our introduction episode. We kind of, obviously we introduce ourselves, and then I bounce a couple questions off these lovely ladies, and yeah.
Nice.
Bit of an intro piece.
Yeah, I think the Emperor's kind of made that a thing for all of the podcasts. I don't think we did one though. We just dove straight into the Batman right off the start.
Yeah,
we kind of introduced ourselves a little bit, but yeah. So first book series, is it something you guys want to reveal now, or you want to wait until your first episode comes out? Or first book? I don't know if it's a series or if it's a book or just a single book.
Doesn't matter to me.
Oh.
First series is Sarah J. Maas's Throne of Glass.
It's an 8-book series.
Holy 8.
It felt that way recording it sometimes too.
Oh,
so
yeah. Those were some late nights.
Listen, this one had words and pages.
Pretty sure they ran in sentences and paragraph form.
Yeah. I don't know how many
but
pages.
it was a great ride. And
Good.
yeah, we're excited to
So
start
how
getting
many
those out.
How many episodes did that take? Did you say?
8.
So there are 8 books.
Okay.
So
you did an episode per book. Okay.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very nice.
But it was funny because after the series was over, they had asked, well, do you want to dive into another series, or you just want to do like a single? And I was like, oh my gosh, I need time to mourn. I need time to process. I have to get over all these characters that we've spent literally 2.5 months.
So many months with.
Yeah. And so I said, my brain needs a little break for a second. I need something short term.
That's kind of the nice thing about your actual like flow of how you're going to do things though, right? Is if you have a book or a series of books, you record 10 episodes after you're done reading or while you're reading, and then you have a backlog so you can post those episodes. And as you're posting those, you're starting your next series. So that's kind of nice for you guys. You won't really have to record weekly like we do. We are constantly every Thursday or Friday or whenever Colton is there to do it.
Yeah.
Very nice. I do have a very important question. What is the drink of choice? It is a quart of books and booze.
I think it depends on the night and the week that we've had. So yeah, Skylar's usually drinking Bud Light.
Simple,
I rotate.
light, refreshing.
I rotate between Twisted Tea. I've had Amaretto Sour on an episode before. I think that's just the two that I rotate between as of right now.
Yeah.
Tonight's coffee.
Yeah.
So
I've usually got Amaretto Sour or Blueberry Moscato.
Nice. Has anybody been drunk on an episode yet?
Yes.
They're
The early ones.
Very,
I would
very
say when
close
we-
to
One of
the
these-
early ones.
We dove pretty hard into the beginning, and then we're kind of like, okay,
It's
whoa,
like-
whoa.
Episode 1 and 2, I
Yeah,
think.
yeah.
Episode 0 probably. They were a little much.
Colton, were you buzzed at beer 30? Yes.
More than likely.
Yeah, I might have been a little more than.
Yeah,
buzzed.
no, you were. You were.
Hey, when you get going, you get going. Yeah, very nice.
That's true.
So who is the lead? Who runs it? Skylar, Amanda, Jess? Who takes the lead most episodes?
So we kind of broke it up. So Skylar usually is the one that does like the intro and the outro, does all the plugs for the podcast at the end, and then Jess is usually the one that does a brief synopsis of the book before we go in and start talking about theories, opinions, all that. So it's kind of broken up that way. The one time we tried to switch it up, which you will hear, it was a little chaotic. So I thought my intro was great.
I'll just stick with the synopsis from now on. You guys were a little bit chaotic when we did that one.
My intro was fantastic. Okay. The synopsis was rough for both Sky and I. At one point we had to switch because it was
We were just
longer,
talking too
because
much.
it was a longer book. There were words we couldn't pronounce, and it was a lot. And we have not done that since.
And
So
I love how you said that I do brief synopses because none of them have been brief.
we're working
except
on
for
it.
The most recent.
Do you have
These
like
are
a
long
goal?
recaps.
I say, do you have a goal like length for your recap? Just be
No.
like, maybe 5 minutes or maybe half hour.
I try to get them like the best, most concise as possible without leaving out important details. And a lot of the Throne of Glass series books, they're very long, very long synopses.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
So who does the most out of the box thinking, the most theorizing on these books?
I think it depends on the book.
Yeah.
Because I feel like there's moments where someone has a feeling about the book and the other two have the opposite and are more the same on the same page. Jess is making a face, I can already tell. But like the one we just recorded tonight, it was completely different. Like I was kind of like on the outskirts of the opinions. So it really just depends on the book. This is also the one we recorded tonight was a very different type. So so I think it just depends on the book, the genre, and
It's really kind of all over the board. Yeah.
Nice.
So because there are some weeks where someone just goes in and
On a
it's like,
tangent.
what the heck are you talking about? So yeah.
As you know, that's where Colton lands about every episode. So
Thanks, Gunner.
Well, how do most people, react to our episodes? It's man, Colton said this.
I think I've heard those tellings.
yeah, very much so. But I enjoy it because it makes it so much more interesting.
Yeah, it keeps everyone on their toes. So it's good
Yeah.
stuff. It's good stuff.
Well,
I'm here for it, Colton. You do
Yeah.
this
Yes.
You do
Thank
you.
you.
And you do you.
Hey,
Colton.
hey, sometimes somebody just has to stir the pot. And I'm not a person who's afraid to stir the pot every once
job.
in a
Okay, do
while.
you sometimes do it on purpose, even if you have the same opinion of whoever's discussing?
I really can't divulge the secrets of how the inner workings of the call guys go.
So that's
Maybe
a yes. That's 100% yes.
I can neither confirm nor deny what you have said. All I know is that I am here to give the best content possible for the call guys and for our listeners. And so far, our listeners have come to expect for me to do and or say something that's absolutely asinine to them.
Yeah, you do have that reputation. That is for sure.
Colton will die.
I
on
will
that
die.
hill.
I will die, on
that hill.
I will die on that hill. And let me
Right.
tell you, if I got that hill Mark, it's mine.
Still working on a shirt for that. Mandy, you should have bought that shirt.
Well, it wasn't up. You didn't even know you had sweatshirts on there, so get
Hey,
out.
hey,
I knew we have sweatshirts on there.
I do
I-
not.
Surprised we didn't get an email about that. Wow, thanks.
I am surprised. I will go.
Way to keep up, Gunner.
Hey, I was posting on social media this week, so you all just calm
You have, man. You've
down.
been killing that.
Calm down.
Ooh, kill him. Ooh, kill him.
Yeah. All right. I do appreciate you guys all coming.
Yes.
hanging
Thank
out,
you.
doing
Thank you for
this.
taking time out of your restful evening.
Amanda's
No.
tired. They just got done recording an episode. Jess, do you what are you drinking, Jess? Nothing.
I have nothing right now. Literally nothing.
Skylar didn't get her a drink.
Yeah. Poured
Wow,
himself an amaretto
worst
sour and then
husband.
skipped out on me. I'm
Sorry.
normally the bartender in this house, and I don't forget.
Dude, she makes
anybody.
such good drinks. Her mojitos are so
Oh man, that
good.
sounds good. Colton, you love mojitos, don't you?
I do love
Ugh,
mojitos.
I
Yeah.
love mojitos.
She makes such good mojitos.
Mm,
Yeah, that actually
that's our
sounds
summer drink.
really good right now.
Mhm.
All right, I'm
Yeah,
having a
at one
mojito
point,
tomorrow.
remember when at one point Alicia was growing mint in her garden,
Oh yeah.
and so we were using like actual mint leaves from her plant. And it was
Actual mint.
actual mint.
As opposed to faux mint.
Dude, you don't know what they put in that stuff.
Came straight out the garden. I like it. All right, well, there's something that the call guys do every week, and I want you guys all to participate and do the question of the podcast with us. And the question of the podcast is something I was thinking about today.
Wonderful.
If you could binge any show just on repeat, what would it be and why? Silence. Crickets. Oh yeah, the Emperor. Where are the crickets?
Crickets.
I have an answer just because I already do this.
Okay.
My binge-worthy feel-good TV show is cliche, but it is
It's
Friends.
Friends.
It's Friends. It's
Saw that
like
come from a
background
mile
noise.
away.
It's like background noise in our house, but I could just like if I'm busy, I just throw it on. But I can quote the entire thing. Yeah.
Nice.
I was a Friends person. I wasn't the what's the other show? How I Met Your Mother.
Did you say was? You were
Oh.
you were a Friends person?
I grew up on Friends.
I am a Friends, but no.
Yeah, I grew
yeah,
up
How I
on
Met Your
Friends,
Mother.
but
How
I
Met Your
didn't. I never have seen How I Met Your Mother. Like I've seen like little snippets here and there, but I've never like sat down and watched it. So maybe I'd like it. I don't know, but
Cool.
I don't
You're
know,
gonna
just
shake his
stuck
head
to
no.
Friends.
Everyone knows my take on How I Met Your Mother and Friends.
Yeah.
Jess, Skylar.
Sky?
I got two.
Oh,
Wow.
bring it.
One would be Community. I freaking love Community so much, even the bad parts of it.
Did you just say what is that?
What is that?
Oh my gosh.
What is that?
We'll be introducing you to a brand new bingeable show.
I don't know what that
Nice.
is. I'm so sorry.
Seriously?
I really don't.
Oh
okay.
my goodness.
Sorry, Sky. Anyway,
all good.
continue.
And
glad
the
you love it.
second would be Full Metal Alchemist Brotherhood.
Oh, going anime on this.
I
Going
was
That's a
too.
really good one.
I was gonna say Naruto, so
anime.
yeah.
Yes.
But if we're going with two options, I would also say Community.
Nice. Colton.
Man, this is tough. Because the problem is that I have like shows that I binge, like that I just have on in the background and they just go. And Futurama is one of mine, one of my favorites. Family Guys, not necessarily anything like live action. It's more like cartoon stuff that I watch. For that kind of stuff, if I'm binging a TV show. But I mean, I think I could probably binge Bridgerton. I could probably get behind that because that TV show, that stupid second season, got me freaking hooked. And now
I
I've
was
got
not expecting you to say that. Wow.
Yeah, he still wants to have a Bridgerton episode.
I am going to sneak in. I am going to make an episode, and Gunnar is going to think it is one thing, and it is just going to be a bombardment of Bridgerton.
Bridgerton is so good. Good.
One of my buddies got all the Bridgerton books for Christmas.
I haven't read them, but I heard they're very good.
He's on like book 3 now.
How many are there total?
8, I think.
Yeah, that sounds right. Yeah, man, they're good.
I was like,
there were
episodes.
There were episodes when Sarah was watching it where I would stop and I would watch and I'd be like, this is kind of intense. And then I'd stop watching and I'd be like, I'm not watching that anymore. And then I'd go back, 3 days later and she'd still be watching it and I'd be like, I get sucked into this show.
So what happened while I was gone? Catch me up.
Yeah. Do you just want me to restart it?
That's what happened. That's what happened to me in Gilmore Girls.
I love Gilmore Girls.
I got my wife, and my wife now was my girlfriend at the time, and she was watching it, and it was she was at Yale, just beginning of Yale.
Oh dang,
and
yeah, that's
Rory is, rebellious Rory, and she is just, not the most likable in my opinion during those early years. And I am just like, what in the heck is going on? And she starts filling me in, and as soon as she filled me in, I was hooked. I watched the rest of them with her, and
oh god, I love like the first 3 seasons of that show. So good.
Yeah.
And I mean, I love the whole show in general, but it's very, very good.
I've got another one for Skylar and I. If we're talking about ones that we just went through super quick, and we're thinking of older ones like that, Sky, we went through Glee. We watched so much Glee in big chunks.
It's actually enjoyable.
I've never seen the end of Glee. I only watch up to a certain point.
Glee.
Oh my gosh, that's so funny. My mom watches that on repeat.
We love Glee so much that we brought the DVDs onto like a little portable DVD player and watched them on a flight one time, just the whole flight, just episodes of Glee.
Nice.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what other show I watch all the time? Supernatural. I love that show.
It's good. It's good.
What about you, Gunner?
Man, I keep running back to it because it's one of my favorite shows of all time. But Castle, I can watch all 8 seasons and then just repeat them back through. And it's one of those shows. It's a good crime drama. It's a good procedural, and I love those kinds of shows. And Rick Castle is a writer, and his books, or one of his books, actually gets made into a movie. So, segue. I'm gonna segue that right into tonight's podcast topic, which is books to movie adaptations. Now, this has been said on the call, guys, many times. I haven't read a book since my freshman reader in college.
Your freshman what?
My freshman reader in college, which was The Other Westmore, which is a phenomenal book if you want to read a good book. So I do have a couple on my list here, but I'm glad to have the 4 of you because you all have many. And I am going to listen, talk, do whatever I need to do to fill in, fit in, pour myself another glass of wine, and just enjoy the conversation. But I don't know. I'm just excited to hear what you guys have, what your favorite books to movie adaptations are. I'm wondering how many of them will cross over because I think we all have kind of the same tastes in books, I would assume, or movies, I guess, not books because I don't read books. But I don't know. I'm just excited. I'm excited to hear what you guys have. And I have one that I don't know that you guys will have on there that I read when I was in middle school. So
Jurassic Park.
Well, I read that in high school. But
Tale of Two Cities.
Not the Tale of Two Cities. It's
thinking like Willy Wonka and the Chocolate
man.
Factory.
Nope. So who wants to go
Cat in the
first?
Hat.
You guys all have top 3s, correct? So we can run it through however you guys want to run it through. I'm pouring wine.
Well,
right
no,
now,
we're doing
so-
3, 2 honorable mentions, 1.
Are we
'cause
doing
that's
it
the
person
format.
Is it
person
your
by
first
person?
time?
Oh, we're putting them in an order.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I just picked the top 3. I didn't put them in an order.
Order.
Oh, man.
I say we go around. Everyone
Around the
does
horn.
we start at 3, everybody goes in 2, blah 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 blah. When are you jumping in at? Around 1?
No, I'll jump in on
Honorable
3 and
mention.
3 and 2, and then
Okay.
that'll work.
All right. You want me to? Well, how do we want to start?
Skywalker's going first.
Oh, let's go. Party on, Garth.
I'm gonna start with the hard hitter, guys. I mean, obviously, it's Lord of the Rings, right?
Oh yeah. I mean, it doesn't have to be number 3, but
I mean, it could be number 1. Jess just rented out a theater for me last weekend so we could watch Lord of the Rings in it for my birthday.
I heard about that. How was that?
Man, it was fantastic.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's a check off my bucket list because I didn't get to see them in theaters. So now I just need to see the other 2.
I will say, Jess, I looked at Sarah and said, "Why have you never done that for me?" And I was so mad I had to leave because we got to pretty much Frodo leaving the Shire when I had to leave, and I was like, I wanted to stay and watch all Fellowship so bad. Like I was like, my popcorn was already gone. I was like, I need to refill this. But yeah, no, it was awesome. That was great. Okay, go ahead, Skylar.
Now obviously we know that these books do not translate to the screenplay extremely well because Tolkien's style of writing is insane. A couple of the big differences I marked down, Frodo was a lot older in the books, and I believe he had the ring for a lot longer, if I remember correctly. The Army of the Dead did not storm Minas Tirith in Return of the King, and Radagast the Wizard played a bigger part in the Lord of the Rings than he wasn't actually in the movies at all. So, but still, easily 3 of my favorite movies ever made.
Nice. When did you read the books? Do you remember? I remember you had that. You had the full all 3 books in one cover.
Yeah, I read them. I probably got them for Christmas in like 2006, and I read them shortly after that. So I was pretty young when I read them, and I think that's probably the reason they held me so well.
Yep.
Because they are a tough read.
Very nice.
Nice.
Very, very nice.
I like that.
I've never dove into those books. I love the movies, but I've never tackled those monsters. So
No.
Literal monsters in some parts. Yeah. Who's next?
it's
Amanda? Jess?
Yeah, I can go.
Go for it.
My number 3, I think I read the books when I was in 4th or 5th grade was the first time I picked them up. But my number 3 is the Chronicles of Narnia series. Yeah.
Very cool.
Very nice.
I love so I went very there are a lot of books that I love and that turned into movies that I also love, but I went very like, okay, what is the closest to the book as possible? Like obviously you can't put all the details in just because, time, budget, all these things. So my list is literally like what books have I read that turn into movies that are as close as can be. So yeah, I loved the whole screenplay and of the, building the world of Narnia and the characters. And I thought it was really well done and very close to what I imagined it to be based on the description in the book. It was just so pretty. And I loved most of the movies. I didn't really like the last one, but anyway, different story. But I thought it went very close to, I think, what the author was trying to depict. And so that's my number 3. Love the world.
Nice.
Good.
I love the movies.
Yeah.
They're great movies.
Yeah. It's been nice because we just watched those over again because Aspen just saw them for the first time and got hooked, and so had to binge them one after another. And it was nice to watch them again because it's been a while.
Yeah. I heard he's actually watching for the first time Harry Potter.
Watching fully all the way through and paying attention for the first time. Like he's seen it. We always have them on regularly, so
Okay.
he's seen bits and pieces, but like actually sat down and paid attention.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. All right, Jess, what you got?
My list is kind of in the middle of how Amanda's doing hers with most closely related books to their adaptations in movie, and then Skylar's just doing his favorites, which
Yeah.
they don't have to be similar at all from the book to the movie. It's just whatever he likes. And so mine's kind of like a mix of that. And this one's just kind of what I like. My third is The Hunger Games.
Ooh.
Nice.
I read
one.
that. I think it came out in 2008, if I'm remembering properly. Yeah, it came out. The books came out in 2008, and I read it probably the year it was released and was just immediately hooked. I remember it was me and then a couple other kids in, I think we were in like eighth grade, ninth grade, something like that. And we all were reading it together at that point in time, and we're just obsessing over this brand new series that was fantastic. And then when the movies came out in, I think like 2012, had to go watch those in theaters. And I, for the most part, I think they translated well from one to the other. So, yeah.
Are you excited for the new one?
Yes. The Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes, I believe.
Yep.
I bought the book not long after it was released. I don't remember. It was a couple years ago. And I told Skylar at the time, because he liked the Hunger Games movies, and I'm like, I really want you to read this with me. I would like for us to both read this. So, just because it would be fun. And he's like, I don't read books. Back at that point in time. And I'm like, I will even sit here and I will read it to you. I'll read it out loud to you. And he's like, nah, I'm just not really into that. And now look where you're at, Sky. Reading books.
Now listen, Skylar, what were the books that Mrs. Schaefer read to us in seventh grade, sixth grade?
I think it was seventh grade.
Yeah.
Seventh grade.
Seventh grade. Come on.
Oh gosh.
You know it, Colton?
Oh gosh, I just blanked. I mean, I remember it was about animals, and it was knights, like a knighthood.
Yeah, it was like medieval time. Yeah.
The main character is a mouse.
Yep.
Yeah.
His name is Matthias.
Redwall.
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 I knew it was red something. I couldn't think red.
I read the two books after Redwall because of
Skylar
Mrs.
did
Schaefer's
too.
class.
Yeah.
I just read them to Aspen last year.
Nice.
We went through Redwall and Matameo and
Did you do the voices?
Matameo, yep.
He did.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I could hear him from the floor below doing the voices.
I love it.
Those are getting movies and a show on Netflix, by the way.
Yep.
Oh, I like it.
Nice.
Have
like
you
it.
read it?
No. Skylar loaned me the book and it's still on my bookshelf. But no, I have not read it.
I haven't either.
Redwall.
Those are not on
very
our
good.
TBR, by the way, because it's like a 16 book series.
Yeah, there's a bunch of those.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Colton?
My number 3 is my list is probably going to go closer to Skylar's list.
Twilight. No, I'm just kidding.
Oh my. No. My number 3 is The Hobbit. Mostly because I love the portrayal of Smaug in it, and like how Benedict was able to, like, for some reason in my head, that is how I envisioned how he was, and I don't know why, I just do. But yeah, it was a book we had to read in junior high, I believe. Just really liked it. Lord of the Rings, a Lord of the Ring-esque book without reading Lord of the Rings, obviously. But yeah, so I would go with The Hobbit. Those movies, I really enjoyed those movies. Martin Freeman, I thought he was great.
Oh yeah.
The second one's my favorite. I love it.
Yeah.
Is that Desolation of Smog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Battle of Five Armies is the third.
one.
Yeah. Have you ever looked up like video footage of Benedict Cumberbatch
When he's like filming
Watching?
the scenes. And
Yeah.
Yes. Watching video clips
It's crazy.
and listening to him act is just phenomenal.
Yeah, it's so good.
Yeah, he might, he could go down as one of the really good up and coming generational actors that everybody knows. If he keeps it up and keeps doing good movies.
Right.
So yeah, not really outside of that. It's a Lord of the Rings movie, and it's, to me, Lord of the Rings is like one of my favorite genres of the movie realm. So once every year I watch The Hobbit, and then I'll watch Lord of the Rings, and then the next year I'll watch Lord of the Rings and then The Hobbit. I don't know why. I just do.
It's crazy. We watch the beginning of Fellowship, and you just think about The Hobbit because of where Bilbo is at the beginning of that. It's kind of nice how it all fits together.
It came on and we were like, that's not Martin Freeman.
Yeah.
That's great. What about you, Gunnar?
So like I said before, this is a series that I read in middle school, and my grandma had all 13 books and still has all 13 books, hardback copies. And it is the series of Unfortunate Events. I read all of these books. I enjoyed all these books. I don't know that I enjoyed the movie with Jim Carrey. It was not a great adaptation, but there were certain things in the movie that really did stick out, especially like when you The Wide Window was the third book. The house on stilts over top of the cliff that looked out over the lake, like that just kind of stuck out to the point where actually in art class my senior year I made that house out of clay when we had to do a house. It was weird. But I don't know, I really enjoyed the books, and when the movie came out I was hoping to really enjoy the movie. Wasn't that great. And then when the show came out, I watched maybe like the first 4 episodes and kind of got out of it. So not necessarily my favorite adaptation, but a book series that I have fully read through and enjoyed. That's where my list is going to be at.
I didn't read the books, but I do really enjoy the Netflix show. Because every episode, it just makes me mad that they're just so close every single time, and they just can't quite to get on the same page. And
that's how the books are too.
I just get frustrated with it, and I'm like, just come on, get it figured out.
And that's close. The exact emotion that they want for these books. So that's great.
I know, and it pisses me off that I give it to them.
Count Olaf tries to somehow murder the kids, and they make it through it, and then they move on to the next family member's house, or move on to the next person that has adopted them, and then he ends up coming in a different disguise and doing something different. It's very enjoyable.
Neil Patrick Harris did such a good job in that show.
He did. Definitely outweighed Jim Carrey by a mile.
Yeah.
I was gonna say Patrick Warburton and Neil Patrick Harris to me were the glue that kept that series together.
Yeah. That was a good one.
There you go. Yep. That's all I got. See you guys later.
Skywalker.
Number 2.
Does it make you cry?
It probably did the first time I watched it.
Okay.
I'm going Holes, guys.
Oh,
big thanks to Nick for bringing this one up, because I didn't think about it.
I can fix that.
I can fix that.
Just a fantastic movie. Obviously, Disney Channel did this one, right? Just like High School Musical, right, Amanda?
Shia LaBeouf.
Hey, High School Musical is good. Okay, shush. Sarah would agree with me on that.
Yeah. You may swim in the lake, but my daddy owns the lake. I love Holes. The movie. Never read the book.
Honestly, of the 3 on my list, the movie is probably most book accurate because there aren't a whole lot of changes between the two. One, the book is a lot more racist than the movie. They try to reflect the times a little bit more. And the 2-3 other ones I can think of is at the beginning of the book, Stanley is obese, and he loses weight as they're digging the holes.
Just the one
The
big
book's
hole.
not called
We're going to
big
China.
hole.
We're going to China, boys.
In the book, the water truck they drive is red, and then in the movie it's silver. And the sploosh is actually made with peaches and onions, not just peaches in the book. I mean, those are just like the quick things that.
Those are very minor, yeah.
So
Wow.
in the book, it was just peaches.
No, in the movie it was just peaches.
I thought
Book is
I thought it
peaches
was.
and onions.
I thought they had onions in the movie. Well, they were eating onions, weren't they?
They were eating onion. They were eating
didn't use it.
apples in the movie. They weren't.
Well, yeah, they weren't.
were
Yeah,
eating
I've actually seen
onions.
pictures of Zero biting out of it, and you can tell it's an apple. But oh yeah, nice.
Nice.
I like it.
That's another book that I read to Aspen. So
Yeah.
Digging up.
Digging in.
Very nice, Amanda.
Amanda, your number 2. Does it make you cry?
Yeah, but I feel like I cry at like everything, so it doesn't really make a difference.
You and Sarah should watch the movies together.
So my number 2, it's an older. I'm not sure what year it came out, but I remember watching it for the first time. I think I was maybe 17. My number 2 is The Green Mile. I read the book after I'd seen the movie and loved it just as much, but the movie makes me cry every single time.
Yeah, that's a tough one to get through.
So good, but it's almost like the dialogue's very similar. There might be a couple words that are off or a couple things that are left out, but for the most part, it's very similar. Almost every setting from the book is also in the movie. All the characters that are important in the book are also in the movie. There's some side characters in the book that aren't portrayed in the movie, but they didn't play a huge part to the plot or anything. But yeah, it's so good. It's probably one of my all-time favorite movies. I love it. Tom Hanks killed it. So it's just great.
T. Hanks. Very nice.
Yeah, it's one of my favorites of his.
Yeah, I do enjoy The Green Mile.
Yeah, but yes,
Very
it
much so.
makes me cry a lot.
Good one. Jess?
All right, Jess, does your number 2 make you cry?
The movie does sometimes. The book definitely did not.
Okay.
So my number 2 is Howl's Moving Castle.
Ooh, so good.
It is an anime movie, and from a book by Diana Jones. She released it in 1986, and then the movie was put out in 2004, and they could not be more different from each other. So I've seen the movie first. I've watched the movie probably hundreds of times since it came out in 2004, and it is one of my favorite movies ever to exist. And it's whimsical. It's just like, if you know the style of Studio Ghibli films, it is just the epitome of cozy, you know. And the book is the personalities are way different of the main characters. It almost feels like it was written in like a foreign language and then translated over, because some of like the sentences don't even feel like they match up properly for what they're supposed to mean. It's got like different settings a bit, but like the tone still ends up being the same, but you're like, you know, this setting wasn't the way this was in the movie at this point. It was later. They don't match up at all. But I read the book just last year, It was one of them that I read for a reading challenge really early in the year. And so it was really interesting to be able to see the difference in the original book versus what the mastermind Miyazaki made the movie into.
Very nice.
Highly recommend at least watching the movie.
The movie's so good.
I would have never become a Studio Ghibli fan if it wasn't for Jess, to be honest, because I knew about it before I went to college, and then I get to college and we watch these movies because they are such a huge part of cinema and cinematography in general. Like there's so many things that go into the animation that just it's super important to how even like live action films are made. Like the way that some of those shots are made in actual CGI and actually made on a computer is important to how people film actual movies. So Jess, thank you. You made me love film.
Aw.
Is that you, Colton? Your turn?
Yeah, it is my turn. It does not make me cry.
Oh, sorry.
Well,
hey, does your number 2 make you cry?
In the last movie, at the pretty much the end, there is a very
Twilight.
tough scene to get through. And my number 2 are the Hunger Games. And it is obviously when Primrose is taken from us in the movie. That was rough. That was rough.
One of my favorite things when anybody brings up the Hunger Games, and I always tell people this, is Jess made a Facebook post after that book came out, and she's like, why do these books always have to kill off my favorite characters? And so I'm so sad.
Yeah, no, I mean, yeah, I know it's sad. Like her story arc is great, by the way. I love that actress who played her. I thought she did a fantastic job. My favorite book though is Mockingjay. I love that book, and the Hunger Games and my number 1 are, I wish the movies would have been longer so it would have been a better adaptation of the book, because the one thing I felt like it really copped out on was the battle at the Acorn.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
for the Acorn, or like I would have loved to have seen that done in a cinematic go, but obviously the movie's already long. They made it into 2 parts, and I was like, okay, you could have still put it in. So, but anywho, I can see why they excluded it from it, because it just really didn't fit the story that they were going for. So, but yeah,
some of the components of those movies that could have been really detailed and grand were definitely played down in the movies.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was just like, it was almost like they were just throwaway lines.
Yeah.
And it's like, oh yeah, this happened. Okay.
And I mean, you kind of have to do that just because of runtime, but as Colton said, to make them longer would have made it better.
Yeah, I would have been okay with it.
That's why you make 2-parters.
Well, they did, and they still didn't put it in.
They still didn't put it in, yeah.
You make 2-parters for every one. Get more.
So
make people happy. Nice.
So yeah, it's also one of the first movies I watched, and I was like, oh, these are after books. Let's read the book. So I watched the movies, and then I read the books and got into the books that way. So yeah. So nice. It was kind of one of my first, like, one of the first movies that I watched that got me into the books and like hooked. I need to read all 3 before I see the last one. So yeah, that's my number 2, Gunner. Does your number 2 make you cry, Gunner?
I don't know if I've ever actually cried watching this series. Actually, it's Green Eggs and Ham. Have you ever seen the little animated short they did on YouTube? It's really good. Now, Jurassic Park, and that's because we read it in high school. You can give me all the crap you want. But I had seen the movie before I read the book, and reading the book made me like the movie even more. You know, it's not a perfect adaptation. Obviously, there's a lot of differences, but it's just enjoyable. And I've always loved Jurassic Park. I could watch Jurassic Park. I honestly, I'd say guilty pleasure is watching Jurassic World. All three of those. I do enjoy those also.
What?
I do. I like Chris Pratt.
I
I hate the story, but I enjoy the dinosaurs and watching the action stuff. That's fun.
Oh gosh, the second movie where they leave like some of those dinosaurs behind on the dock, kills me.
I love the second movie when the T-Rex is stomping around the city. Like, I mean, it's just fun to watch. Colton, you can't say you didn't like Jurassic World 1, the first one.
Yeah, you could. I mean, you could go back to the well, I guess. But I mean, how many times can you go back to the well?
Hey, as long as it's making money, it doesn't matter.
Oh my gosh!
Jurassic World 1.
No. Oh, you should watch it.
Just no.
But I do love the third one. Colt and I had discussed this before.
How do you outrun a raptor?
You don't on a motorcycle.
Well, no, you're doing the third one.
No, but you get to the point where like you read these books in high school or whatever, and you watch the movies afterwards, and that's what I always look forward to, is you read these books and then you can watch the movie. To Kill a Mockingbird was one of those that you read the book and then you watch the movie, and I always enjoyed that. Maybe that's why I love movies, because I always enjoyed seeing how they were portrayed differently, and maybe that means I should read more books. So
it definitely means you should read more books.
Give me time. I
Don't give him any time. He's a lost cause.
Did you say give you recommendations?
Give me recommendations. Recommendations for
Waste
the
of
question of the
time.
pod or future episodes of the Call Guys. Yeah, send those emails to thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com.
Waste of time. Don't waste an email. Waste an email.
I have an entire box of comic books in my car that I've got 2 months ago that I should probably still read. So that's where I'm at in reading.
Save your energy. It's not worth it.
It's worth it.
He's a lost
You're telling me
cause.
it's not worth it to... Oh, you're telling them it's not worth it to get me to read. I read things all the time. I read emails at work.
You read text messages off your phone?
Yeah. See,
We'll just email you the PDF of a book.
Oh
So
gosh.
you can keep
There
it as an
you go.
email.
Skylar has said, "Hey, use my online account so you can read all the My Hero
Heck yeah.
mangas." And then I go to read them. I stop because I'm like, I can't read.
So you're saying
Hey.
the real reason why you don't read is because you can't read.
I read all of my notes. I probably type a decent amount of words a minute. Like, I know how to read and write. Come on, Colton.
It sounds like a classic case of the heart is willing.
I
but
have
the
beautiful
mind is not.
handwriting and beautiful cursive, and I can type really fast. And so suck it.
Yeah, cursive, the dying arts.
Cursive. It's a beautiful art.
Oh, gosh. Let's segue.
Okay.
Let's
You know what?
segue.
Leave me alone.
Honorable mentions, Skylar. Do you have any? If you
I do
don't, that's
not.
fine.
I do not.
Amanda, honorable mentions?
Of course. I
Oh,
know the
yes. That's
Of course.
right.
Oh, yeah, we all know the drill.
drill. Yeah, faithful listeners out there. Okay, my honorable mentions. I have The Princess Bride,
Ooh, nice.
The Silence of the Lambs, Little Women. I really like older books. Pride and Prejudice, and then I did put the Harry Potter series.
That's my honorable mention too.
There is a reason I did not put it in my top 3
Hot take.
because
Oh my.
I love the books. I love the books.
Mm-hmm.
I liked the movies. The movies could have been so much better. There were
Yeah.
so many vital parts that were just left out, not even talked about. Characters that played huge roles in the books that didn't even exist. Didn't even exist.
Yeah.
So that's why it's not in my top 3. I like the movies and I will rewatch the movies whenever I get the chance. But
Comparatively to books, doesn't make the cut
No go.
because the books are.
Yeah. I think that was the one that I had put on my list, even in honorable mentions, where I didn't stick to my oh yeah, like it's super close to the book. That was the one, because I do enjoy both. I really do enjoy both. But comparatively, it's not the best, but I still put it on my list because I do love both. So
Absolutely.
Very nice, Jess.
very strong feelings.
Any other ones than Harry
No,
Potter?
it's just Harry Potter, and for those same reasons, yeah.
Very strong
Okay.
feelings.
Exactly.
Okay, very nice, very nice.
What about you?
Mine are a book called The Hustler. It was done back in, I believe, the 60s, and it was a Paul Newman, Jackie Gleason movie back in the day. It was about a guy, it's a black and white movie about a guy a pool hustler, and kind of his journey of what he takes and goes through. It's one of my all-time favorite black and white movies. It's just fantastic. I love the story. It's just a great story. The other one is a book called Wise Guys, and it is the inspiration for Martin Scorsese's Goodfellas. And Goodfellas is one of my all-time favorite movies. It is fantastic. I love it. I love it. It's a fantastic movie. If you haven't seen it and you like mob movies or anything about the mob, Ray Liotta, Joe Pesci, and Robert De Niro absolutely kill it. And then my last honorable mention is another mob book called I Heard You Paint Houses. Netflix had a movie. It's one of the first movies that Martin Scorsese has only done on Netflix, and it got a lot of flack for the award season because it was just a Netflix movie, and it was called The Irishman on Netflix. And
it was De Niro too, right?
Yep, I was really old. It had the same guys pretty much. So just another. I am a huge Martin fan. I feel like almost anything he touched turns to gold, and I just love how he does his movies, and especially if it's anything that ties in with the mob, I'm in on. I really enjoy that history. So yeah, those are my honorable mentions.
Nice.
Hunter, you got any?
I heard you guys say Harry Potter. I haven't read all of the Harry Potter books. I remember in elementary school they had them in the 6th grade section in the library, and I would go over and try to get them, and they'd be like, "No, you're too young to have those," and I'd be like, "All right, okay." So I wouldn't get them, and then I did read I think the first 2, but I absolutely love the movies. Once again, movies you can watch over and over again. Back in the day when ABC Family would run them over and over and over, you would watch them because they were always on. So Harry Potter is definitely up there in my favorite movies, books. I should probably go back and read all of them.
So since you weren't here, the girls blew those movies up.
Okay, well, I'll go read the book so that way I know why they're not as good as the.
They do. They leave out a lot.
I'm not surprising.
I mean,
yeah.
If every one of those movies would have been 4 hours, I would have been just fine.
Yeah, 100%.
100%.
So
I didn't say it in
100.
time.
Yeah.
So number 1, Skywalker. What is your number 1 movie?
I'm so excited for this.
am so excited for this because I know for a fact you guys have not talked about this movie, as you should. Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Oh my god! I love that movie.
Let's wrap this up right now, Gunnar. You have Chris do the plugs, and we'll see you next week, guys.
I will say I love that movie. I don't care who you are.
I read the book before we saw the movie, and I love the book. It's really good, but man, the movie actually blows the book out of the water, in my opinion. I don't even know what to say. I love the movie.
Yeah.
The differences between the movie and the book is there is no lead villain, And at the end of the book, Lincoln gets turned into a vampire by I believe it's Harry, right? Harry was his sidekick or whatever. But yeah, just a fantastic movie, fantastic book.
That really came out of left field. I did not see that coming.
Yeah.
Jess, did you know it beforehand?
He told me a couple days ago, yeah.
Nice.
He's like, I'm going to keep it a secret. And then he wanted to know my list. And I'm like, I'm not telling you my list until you tell me that third one you're keeping a secret.
Interesting.
Very nice.
I don't know where my copy of that book is, by the way. I don't think it's up on the shelf, is it?
Out of all the books.
What's the author?
I don't remember.
As I
If you
look at
can't
the
tell me
shelf.
the
As I
author,
look at the
I
shelf
don't know where to
for
look
it.
at it.
It could be on
Amando.
the bottom two shelves. I don't know.
No, I think it's right there on the second shelf.
Yes, that's it. I see it.
It's behind the behind
Yeah,
the
you
camera.
see
Yeah.
Thanks for finding
Yeah,
it, guys.
yeah.
Hey, you're welcome. That's what we're
Appreciate
here
your
for.
help.
That's what we do here at the Call Guys. If anybody
You
else
pointed
needs help,
right at it.
if anybody else needs help, just feel free to contact us at the callguyspodcast@gmail.com.
That's why I need my movie posters, because when we talk about movies, I always am like, yep, there it is right there.
Amanda, what is your number one?
So one of my guilty pleasures is black and white movies.
Nice.
I love them. Like one of my favorite movies of all time is Casablanca. I just love older movies, so black and white or not, but like you, Colton, White Christmas is one of my favorite Christmas movies. I watch it every year. Nick hates it, and I
What?
love it. Love it.
Not a safe house.
but yeah, Casablanca. I really like the original Christmas Carol that was filmed back in 1908.
Jeez.
Black and white, so good. It's a Wonderful Life, so good. Love it. But my number one that I absolutely fell in love with the book in school and love the movie is To Kill a Mockingbird. It's so good. And I think that, so the lead actor, Gregory Peck, who played Atticus, is really what sold me on making this my number one, because his portrayal of Atticus was just spot on to what I imagine the character in the book was from the description that was given of him, and even how the delivery of lines was so well done. And he made that movie for me. So it's one that if I ever, not that I ever see it on TV, but I love that movie. So that was my number one, because it's almost directly from the book.
Yeah, Colton, we should do a black and white movies episode, because I mean, North by Northwest, Double Indemnity, Rear Window, It's a Wonderful Life. Like Jimmy Stewart, just in general, but his era of films. I love
so good.
him.
Yeah.
North by North. I can't remember the main actor in North by Northwest, but those movies, just it's something about the way they were filmed back then.
Yeah, I feel like it's something that's lost. Like no one talks about black and white movies or things like that anymore. So
because color is cool.
Color's cool. Yeah. But even like silent films were a huge thing at one point, and I feel like that's been something that's been lost now that technology has progressed and things. So, but it's stuff that I love revisiting and going back to, and especially like silent films, black and white films, because it really makes me sit, and I have to really be like drawn in, and I love that, because I am so go all the time and busy, that it's nice to like have something to where I'm just like, okay, sit, pay attention. And I love black and white films.
Oh, and their dialogue. That's all. I mean, it's all about the dialogue.
It's so good.
I was gonna say, I feel like, to me, they had to try. I don't want to say they had to try harder, but it just seems like there's a lot more effort in their scripts and everything else going on around them that make it a little bit more special.
Yeah.
It's bad to say, like, this year we always watch It's a Wonderful Life on Christmas Eve. And I pulled it up, and I pulled up the black and white version. Everybody goes, black and white. I'm like,
absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
You watch it in black and white. I don't want to watch the color version. I don't want to watch the black and white version.
Yeah.
It's just good. So
Jess, Your number one.
My number one is not super popular. It's not like one of my favorite books in the world. It's not one of my favorite movies in the world, but I picked it because from the moment the movie came out, I said that this was the closest book to movie adaptation that followed like word for word and exactly what I had imagined in my head as I was reading the book when it came out, that I had ever encountered. And it is The Host by Stephanie Meyer.
Nice.
So it's like, I don't know if anybody's ever seen it or read it or anything, but it is like this alien symbiont race that merges with like is implanted essentially inside the main human characters, and they have to coexist together as like dual consciousnesses and try to make that work. And yeah, like I said, not like the best movie or book in the world, but as soon as I think the book came out in 2008 and the movie came out in 2013, I believe. And as soon as the movie came out, I was like, this is exact from the book. So I definitely give it a lot of respect in that regard.
Very nice.
Especially coming from Stephanie Meyer, which was something like post Twilight too. So it was it was different.
Well, speaking of my number one, no, I was kidding.
Yes.
You can say Twilight.
Yes.
Honestly, you were talking about just like, a host and they have to coexist. And literally in my head, all I'm thinking is Venom.
Yep.
Like, it's like, man.
Not quite.
I need to
Get Nick's Marvel thoughts out of
Not
your
as
head.
rough.
Dude, yeah.
I guess I can give you a number one. I will give you a number one. It's a book that I've never read, but actually about 20 minutes before we started this podcast, Sarah was reading it because she got the really nice gold leaf cover for The Great Gatsby. And she was reading it to me. And the first movie that we watched on our projector downstairs, because we put a projector in, we got a nice soundbar up there to, make it feel like a theater, was The Great Gatsby. Because I love The Great Gatsby. I would say it's probably one of Tobey Maguire's best roles that he's played, just in the narration, the overall actual role. And she was reading this to me, and man, it is almost word for word what she was reading compared to the movie. So I'll throw that at number one. I've never read it, but
Even
maybe
in
I
school,
will.
you didn't have to read it?
No,
Because we had to read it in school.
We didn't.
All the symbolism and the green light and
The Green Light. Yeah.
yeah.
My wife had to
Yeah.
read it in school.
Yeah, it's good.
You
It's good. I'd
speaking
recommend.
of reading things in school actually makes me think of an honorable mention, by the way,
Oh,
and
good.
that is The Lovely Bones.
Um,
Not super accurate to each other, but both very good in their own way.
That book is on my personal TBR. I've seen the movie, and the movie was intense.
We read it in high school,
You
and
were the
then
last year.
one of the parents complained, and they pulled it.
Oh yeah.
Who was the main actor in that?
Shoot, what's his name? He's in the Hunger Games. He plays the reporter.
Mm.
Oh yeah.
Crickets.
The bald guy?
Yeah.
With glasses. I can pull it up. Oh man, I'm gonna kick myself.
So am I.
Stanley Tucci.
Stanley, yeah, Tucci.
Mark Wahlberg, Rachel Weisz. Yeah.
That's a good movie.
Yes. Very intense.
Mm-hmm.
Very, very intense.
Wow. Yeah, we didn't have to read that one in school. That was one that, but maybe it's because
Susan
someone
Sarandon?
complained at your school
Someone
and it
complained
got
at Triton.
banned.
Yeah.
We read it for 1 year at Triton, and that was my junior year before they pulled it. So
Good picks, everybody.
Well done, guys.
You-
Love it.
I didn't give my number
I was
one.
gonna say.
Oh yeah, no, we don't
number
care.
one.
We don't care. We don't care. Okay,
Well,
go ahead.
Skipped him, Gunner.
That's okay.
He asked me, and I wasn't expecting you to do number one. I was ready.
That's okay. That's okay. So this just kind of got dragged through the mud a little bit, but that's okay. My number one, it is Harry Potter. But here's the reason why. Okay? Here's the reason why. My defense for it. It is the first book series that I ever read that made me want to read it again. Yeah. And like with the Hunger Games, they could have, if they would have made every movie 3 hours long, 3 to 4 hours long, every movie, even make the last one a part 2 again. And that way they get the majority of the stuff that they left out in the movies, I'd have been fine. But the books, I absolutely love those books. I love reading them, and it's always you start from. For me, I always start from the beginning and I go to the end. I just can't read like The Order of the Phoenix.
Right.
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
Then I don't know how, if anybody does that way. Email us at thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com. But I would love to know how you do it, because I just don't think in my head, I can't do it. I start at one and I go from there. And it's the first book series I ever read that made me want to go back and reread them from start to finish. And that's why, to me, and the movies, I like the movies. I think they're good, but I think the ladies nailed it when they said they left out so much stuff. And the movies were already really, really long for the majority of it. And so obviously you got to cut out something, unfortunately, but to me, that was my strongest case for the books to movies, because I really, really enjoy the books portion.
Yeah,
absolutely.
That's a very good reason. Yeah.
So
I think I was just taking it very literally.
Well, I mean,
interpreted it.
You're not wrong. That's the thing, because you're right. Because I would have loved to see the House Elves storyline. Yeah,
Peeves.
I would have loved
Neville's backstory. We've talked about this too. It's completely
it's so relevant, and it's not. Well,
you should read the books, guys, if you haven't.
If Gunner's not going to read them, we're fine. Skylar, have you read them?
She's talking to listeners, not me. So
okay.
All of the above. If you don't know what we're talking about, you should read the books.
What's nice is there's been a few books or series or whatever that have been mentioned that are on the future to be read list for A Court of Books and Booze, because I believe so. Skylar has not read the Harry Potter books, and he needs to. And then Amanda, have you not read the Hunger Games books? Is that right? You've watched the movies but not read the books?
No.
I don't. That correctly?
Perhaps. Because I think maybe I've read the first one, but I haven't read the entire series.
Okay. I thought that's why we put that on there. Because you hadn't read them or read all of them. Yeah. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes when we get to those series for those of us who have not read those.
Yeah, I would have loved the Deathly Hallows to have been closer. Like, I wish they would have went more deeper into Dumbledore's, controversies.
Yeah. 100%.
Childhoods, backstories, all of that.
Exactly. Yeah. And I actually reread that chapter after I read it 3 times, because I wanted to because I had seen the movie, and the movie, it just, stuff wasn't matching up in my mind that I thought it was going to be, and I was so. But
there's a lot of detail in a little amount of writing there.
Yes. But like I said, that's why to me it's my favorite, because the books made the movies, even though the movies didn't have everything in the books.
Yeah,
definitely.
So for those of you that have read the series, what is your favorite Harry Potter book?
Oh, see, I was actually gonna counter that with asking a second question of the pod, which would be, what is your favorite Harry Potter film?
Ooh,
so both,
absolutely.
Yeah, let's do both. Let's do both. So is it just us three, me and the gal?
The ones I read, yeah,
for the books, yeah.
Okay.
I really like the Harry Potter cookbook.
Okay, Skylar,
I love me some butterbeer.
Thank you, Skylar, for your input.
Anytime, big guy.
We do have that.
Oh my gosh. I really like Half-Blood Prince.
Book or movie or both?
Book. We'll do book. We'll do
Okay.
book, and then we'll throw in the others.
We'll
Throw in the tag-alongs.
I think mine is Goblet of Fire.
Yeah,
It's a good one. It's a tough one to beat because you got I mean, the ending.
You got it all, you know?
Yeah,
and I think like the detail between each of the events that were going on is just chef's kiss. So why do you like Half-Blood Prince?
Yeah.
Why is that? Why did you choose that one as your favorite?
I have this oddly weird thing with Snape.
Me too. Oh my gosh.
Like, and I know it's weird to say
I
because
am the Half-Blood Prince.
I literally have a sweatshirt that says turn to page 394.
that's awesome. That is awesome. I don't know. I just really like that, and it might be it might be because I think it's also my favorite movie.
Yeah.
Is that coming? That's to me that's kind of the headway that is the peak of now it is time to fight or flight.
Mm-hmm.
And like I said, it's kind of about Snape most of the time, and I just like Alan Rickman. Good, I mean,
fantastic.
Talk about as creepy as Snape is through the whole, as especially towards at the end. You can kind of make a case that he's more of a weird dude than a hero dude. In that case,
a dude. He's
Like,
just a dude, man.
I just
A dude,
don't know,
man, dude.
He just his tendencies were a little bit skewed, I thought.
Yeah.
But
Jeff?
yeah, no, I think that's why it would be my favorite book.
Good pick. Jessica?
See, and it's funny because I'm slightly torn between Goblet of Fire and Half-Blood Prince, but I think in my heart it's got to be Goblet of Fire.
I mean, yeah, that's a
it was a
super
huge
tough
turning point.
Oh, for sure.
In the series, and yeah, just there was a lot in it, and it was done so well.
Yeah, I wish you can't. It's a tough one to argue.
Yeah, there's not a lot to say. You just feel it.
Yeah, especially if you've read it, it's because you're right. I mean, it feels like to me it's the real beginning of him being back.
Yeah.
Now that he has a quote unquote face and a body, and
He's not on the back of somebody's head.
Yeah.
I do have a different favorite movie than my favorite book, though. Yeah. So,
ooh,
Sky, why don't you tell us your favorite Harry Potter movie?
You have to pick one.
After rewatching most of them with Aspen, I think I have to say Chamber of Secrets is probably my favorite.
Ooh,
solid.
Yeah.
I used to think that the kid that played Tom Riddle was so cute. I did.
Weird.
I know. Isn't that weird? And he was like in his mid to late 20s the time that he played that character. So funny. Anyway, sorry, continue. It's because you thought he was cute too, right?
Yeah, so I was like, wait, he was kind of cute.
What are you saying? He was all about
Chamber of Secrets. Movie wise, I think Chamber of Secrets was good because of the actual scavenger hunt they almost had to go on to find exactly what they were looking for. The snake Tom Riddle leaving all of the clues around the castle and all this stuff, and they finally find it in the girls' restroom. It's really cool. It's really cool to see that. But
Money matter.
Yep. I'll go. Mine is Deathly Hallows Part 1. I love the slow burn. I love the heist. I love that they're going to find all these Horcruxes and they're trying to find all these and destroy them. I just have always enjoyed it. Dobby dies at the end of that one, I think, which is also really, really good emotional, stab to the heart. It really, and
just like Dobby.
Thank you, Skyler.
Free elf.
Yep. I like it because it's that kind of heist. I love the second Deathly Hallows, but honorable mention is Goblet of Fire, obviously. Such a good action movie overall. The games and Robert Pattinson, he dies. It's sad.
My son.
My boy. Dude, it's seriously, we were just talking about this. It's his scream at the end that just rips my heart to pieces.
Oh yeah.
Yes. Yes, it does. That one's rough because I've got a son, and like I watched it after I had him, and I was like, that scene just hits completely different now for me, and I was like, oh, I'm a man. I don't cry.
Something about the way that magic is thought of, like the way they do magic in Harry Potter, like when they're at the festival and all the tents are like in the fireworks. It's just so cool to see on screen.
Yeah. Colton, favorite movie? Did you say it was Deathly Hallows, right?
No, I went with Half-Blood Prince.
Half-Blood, right.
I went with the Half-Blood Prince. He kind of solidifies his core of people. I felt like that's when he truly had a group of friends that he could call family. I like that aspect. That also ends with him and Voldemort and Dumbledore fighting in the Ministry, doesn't it?
No, that was Order of the Phoenix.
Phoenix. Dang it. Never mind then.
Big fan.
Ouch. Right.
I love that scene at the end of Order of the Phoenix, but I do not like that movie.
Yeah,
it's not my favorite.
Well, no. I think the thing about for me is that Dolores Umbridge is a person you would just love to hold underwater for just a bit too long. But you want to talk about somebody, and I think of this as like Joffrey. I call it the Joffrey role.
Yeah, the actor.
Yep.
That portrayed that and made you feel that way.
Absolutely.
Yes, that is a fantastic job because now you are going to just be known as that little pink little snot-nosed person that you just want their head to be underwater for a second too long. And you'd be just fine.
It's a genius villain, honestly.
I mean, and that's a great description too.
Yeah.
Pink little snot-nosed.
I couldn't tell if he was talking about Joffrey or Umbridge.
I mean, that's the beauty. That's the beauty of it. If you can love a character and do all that, but if you can hate a character the same way you love a character, that's how you can. That's how you know that person absolutely killed that role.
Yeah, 100%. 100%.
Because that's everybody's like. I bet that's majority of everybody's least favorite movie is Order of the Phoenix, and it's because of her. And I'm like, man,
her little squeaky voice kills me.
Yeah, the worst villain of the series is not Voldemort; it is Umbridge.
Yeah, 100%.
Absolutely,
100%. Jess, did you give yours?
No, I didn't. And it's funny because I'm in the same boat that I was with the books where it's between Goblet of Fire and Half-Blood Prince, and I'm going to choose Goblet of Fire.
Yeah.
Can't go wrong. Wrong.
I watched that movie when it came out so many times, and I was in like my ultimate peak Harry Potter point in time. I have the movie memorized.
Did you have the gems from Claire's where you could look into them and see the? You remember those?
Yeah, at that point in time, that movie could come on, and I could just say everybody's lines as it was just going, and I would, and it was annoying and hilarious, and I still can do it. I was doing it when Aspen was watching the movies the other day, and I was saying the lines as they said them, and he'd look at me like, "What the heck are you doing?"
Sounds like somebody in Bill and Ted. Colton.
Yeah, it's me.
Very nice. Very
Oh,
nice.
man.
Well, that was a long Harry Potter conversation that I didn't expect to happen, but it's enjoyable.
Now you
Amanda,
guys
did
don't
you
have
give
to do a
yours?
Harry
I was
Potter.
gonna say, what was
episode.
yours? Did I miss yours? Your movie?
I
I
thought
don't
she
think I
said.
said it.
I don't think you did either.
Oh, I don't think I said it. He's trying to cut me off.
Yeah.
No,
I'm
you
talking about
did
Harry
say it.
Potter.
2 for 2.
She did say it. You did go.
You said your book was Goblet of Fire, right?
Yeah, my
And
movie,
your movie
is different.
is
Yeah.
which?
Yeah, geez, Gunnar.
Bad at my job.
My favorite Harry Potter movie is so I really like Half-Blood Prince for the same reason that Colton does. I am a huge Snape fan, and Alan Rickman and his delivery of lines in that movie is just so good. So good. So, but then I also really like Prisoner of Azkaban because it is just so visually appealing. I love that movie. And I really love Sirius Black.
Gary Oldman.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
You never think about him being freaking Detective Gordon and
Oh man, it's
Yeah.
screws.
Insane,
It
the
screws with
difference.
my head all the
Yeah.
time. Every time I see him, and I was like,
Yeah.
dude, that is not Gary Oldman.
Yep.
yeah. And his portrayal of that character was just so good. And then the scene where they're in the shrieking shack between him and Remus and Snape it's one of my favorites.
So good.
It's one of my favorites. It's just like three legends just right there in a room. So
Yeah, honestly, yeah, that the book and the movie
Yeah.
for Azkaban was so good, especially with like the time turner situation and those scenes where they're in there multiple times.
But yeah, and then like the shape shifting to the werewolf and the Patronus becomes
Yeah.
a big thing, and it's just so pretty, so pretty. I love it.
Colton didn't see me shifting my eyes when they talked about time travel, so
It's a thing.
It's a
It's a thing.
sensitive topic.
Buckbeak was one of my favorite
Mhm.
favorite overall beasts in
Yeah.
not Fantastic Beasts.
Potterverse.
But yeah, I can't choose between those two, so those are my two favorite
Nice.
movies.
What's up, Skylar?
It's so funny to me that you love time travel so much because I hate it with a passion. Every time you bring it up, I'm like, oh my God, here we go again.
Hey,
It makes
you and
no
me
sense.
both. You and me both.
Hey, get used to it. It's never gonna stop.
The time turner makes no sense, Gunner.
Okay.
What do you mean it
so
doesn't make sense?
That's okay. The time turner is totally different than just time travel. It's like it's a device and it's set for like a specific amount. And like there are rules. It's not just a book or a movie that they get to a certain point and then they're like, oh, travel back in time and do whatever you want. Like
She's
it
never
was
seen Back to the
different.
Future, so
I haven't.
talk about time travel.
The DeLorean is just a machine.
Back in
or
the
what-
past.
It's a thing.
We're gonna go in time.
But she's watched the heck out of Doctor Who.
I love Doctor
I
Who.
love Doctor Who. Who's your favorite Doctor?
I am not caught up. I haven't seen. I'm not caught up.
Where are you
I have-
at?
The last I saw is the end of Matt Smith.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so like I've watched the old ones and then
Okay.
watched Chris.
Eccleston,
Thank you, and
David Tennant.
David Tennant and Matt Smith, and
There you go.
yeah, I love Chris Eccleston.
Eccleston.
Eccleston, however you want to pronounce that.
Yeah.
He's my doctor. I mean,
Wow.
I adore David Tennant so much. Absolutely fell in love with his doctor and those seasons. But I started with Chris. Like he was my first doctor
I understand.
before I went back and watched
He was
the
my
originals.
doctor.
He was my first doctor. And he's what made me fall in love with the show. So
Nice.
he's
Nice.
just
Not
my
a lot
favorite.
of people go with him.
Yeah, I
as a
know.
First, but I wish he would have got a better shakedown with the BBC, and they wouldn't have ended like they did.
I know. I hate how short of a reign he had.
Yeah, well, it was a big
Mhm.
pissing match with the BBC, and
Yeah.
he got screwed pretty good by them. I was very disappointed because I really enjoyed him, and I wish he would have got another year.
Oh
I
yeah.
really hope he allegedly is supposed to be coming back, maybe,
Really.
but it'll just be kind of like what I will not say anything else since yeah.
I know we've had some that have come back that I've seen a handful of spoilers, but
Okay.
yeah, I really need to
Yeah. My favorite's Matt. I love Matt.
Oh, he's great, yeah.
And the reason why I like Matt the most is because I like his companions.
Mm-hmm. That whole just the way that came full circle.
With
Amy and Rory
and Rory,
River, and yeah,
it really took the Tennant years, about the middle end of the Tennant years with River, and kind of goes mostly, you'll see with the Capaldi years.
Yeah.
How that kind of shakes out from there.
It was fantastically done. Like, brilliant minds working on that show.
Oh, the writers on that, well, you're getting ready to get in for a doozy with Capaldi and Jody, because those writers are not there.
Yeah. I know.
Quality dips. Big.
Well, if you were born on December 30th and you really love Doctor Who, send us an email to thecallguyspodcast@gmail.com, because two people here born on the same day love.
Wait, what?
Yeah, you and Cole share a birthday.
I didn't know that.
Yep.
Oh, happy late birthday.
Happy late birthday to you as well.
Well, do you guys have anything else you want to add on books to movies adaptations?
Half this podcast was about Harry Potter, so
Hey,
what can you do? What can you do?
Well, it is about 2 hours, and most of it wasn't about Harry Potter.
That's true.
Maybe the last 20 minutes. And then a little bit of Doctor Who sprinkled in on the end there.
Hey, I've got some Doctor Who books up there. We're okay.
Colton's basement door in his house that he's in now is the TARDIS.
It is the TARDIS door.
Are you taking it with you?
I love that. Have you been?
Okay, Skylar first. I'm taking the sign. I don't think I'm gonna take the door, but I do have another door in the basement that leads into a bigger part of the basement. So I'm gonna repaint the TARDIS on that door.
It's bigger on the inside.
Yep,
it is.
That's why I painted it to my basement. Okay, Jess, what were you going?
Oh,
with?
I was just gonna say, have you been to the TARDIS, to the Doctor Who shop here in Indiana? It's,
He's like, excuse me.
It's down near Indy. I think it might be Kokomo Carmel area. There's just a little like roadside store that's got a big TARDIS in it. It's got a bunch of Doctor Who themed things. Yeah. It's on my
trip
goal of places to go this year.
It sounds like we know where we're going for our trip to White Castle.
Yeah, the Call Guys go to White Castle. That's an upcoming episode coming up in 2023. So this year, look forward to it.
It's in Canby, which is like
there you go.
It's a small town between Indy and Bloomington.
Okay.
Wow.
So
Okay.
further south.
A little further south.
So farther south, yeah, that's not bad.
All right. Well,
that sounds pretty neat.
Yeah.
Sorry, between Indy and Mooresville. So I mean, it's
Mooresville. Okay.
Yeah.
It's still same. It's still south of Indy.
Just outside of Indy.
Just south of Indianapolis. Yeah.
Gunnar, what did you have to add?
Nothing. I thought I did pretty decent for not reading much. So
you did good.
We'll email you our recommendations.
Yes, please do. Send them over to callguyspodcast@gmail.com. Yes, Colton.
Okay, yeah, that's it. I'm just making sure.
Everybody, please, Friday morning, go check out A Court of Books and Booze, their first episode coming out there, episode 0, their introduction to who they are, what they're talking about, what they're doing. I'm excited to listen to it. I've told the Emperor about 100 times. I'm just excited to listen to the podcast. I'm excited to hear what you guys talk about. And Yeah, I feel like it's going to be a good Friday listen, and really looking forward to it. So
You can read along with us.
As you should.
Yeah.
Throne of Glass. Really good, guys. Definitely worth the
Commitment.
torment. The
Definitely
torment
worth the
it's gonna go
commitment.
through.
Stop eyeing the camera like that.
I wish I had the time to just sit and just open a book.
You
I
think
really
we
do.
have time?
Oh,
Apparently
have
you
time.
do.
We make time.
I podcast at least 2 to 3 nights a week and
Mm-hmm.
edit podcasts 2 nights a
Yeah.
week.
Just listen to the
Yeah.
audiobooks.
You just
You
need
know,
to tell
that's
the
actually a
Emperor
really
what's
good
up.
idea.
That's honestly, that's how I do it. Like, there is no way that I would be able to sit down and like whip out my Kindle or a physical book. Audiobooks literally save me.
Maybe that's what I'll
And
start doing.
if you have a library card, you can often get the audiobooks for free with their apps.
Mm-hmm.
All right, sign me up. I'm going library.
There you go.
You know, Sarah's mom works at a library, so
I didn't know that.
Wow, opportunity.
opportunity. Now I'm going to seize that opportunity. But no, thank you guys for coming on.
Colton shaking his head.
And while I'm down there, I'm going to go to the Doctor Who place and then take pictures, send them to Colton, and laugh.
You ain't got to lie,
Wow.
Craig.
You guys want to do any? Do you guys have plugs for this upcoming episode? Anything you want to say?
Yes.
Yes.
You can find us at Facebook. It's at a court of BAB. So
Bab.
go like the page.
Bab.
And you can also email us at acobabpodcast@gmail.com.
Kebab podcast.
I'm coming back.
You have any reading recommendations, just hit us up because it's all coming Friday.
Whether you want it to or not.
That's right. Like I said, I'm excited. I'm sure Colton's excited. Colton listens to all of the podcasts under the Mojo network of podcasts.
I am a good foot soldier in the Empire.
I thought you were janitorial staff.
Well, I still can't perform those duties.
Dude needs a plunger. Somebody send Colton a plunger.
Oh my gosh.
Always chaos on this.
It's chaos, yes. Jess, go listen to the call, guys. Let me know what you think of the first episode, the Batman introduction and the Batman.
Jess fell asleep during the Batman. So,
What?
Oh,
How's that possible?
What, did you?
No,
Robert,
no.
Patties.
She didn't fall asleep. Alicia fell
Yeah.
asleep. Jess looked at me and goes, I'm tired. I'm going to bed at 2:30 in the morning while me and Roy stayed up till 4 to finish it.
It was really
Why'd you watch it so late?
It was good though. What I
Yeah,
saw.
why did you watch it so late?
What better time is there to watch the darkest movie on the planet?
We don't often not have all of our children, so we
That's true.
have to work around the time that we have.
Okay.
1
That's
a.m.
why
it
we
is.
record our podcast at 9 or 9:30.
Yeah, understandable. All right. Well, if you guys have nothing else to add, I'm going to do some plugs and get us out of here and let you guys go get some sleep. Amanda's going to go drink another cup of coffee and stay up.
I'm feeling good right now. It really
You
really
weren't
hit.
earlier.
I really hit. I literally laid on this couch for a minute and Jess is like, do you really want to do that? And I was like, no, but I'm going to anyway. Until I got up and made some coffee. Now I'm feeling pretty good.
Hey, whatever works. Keep you awake. It is
All for the podcast, right?
1:30 in the morning. This
Go for the
might be
pod.
the latest that we've recorded a Call Guys episode.
Oh, it
I'm
is.
pretty sure it is. so.
It hands down is.
And if Colton wouldn't have had to go to the Triton basketball game tonight, then whoa.
Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Oh my gosh.
All right, everybody. Thank you for listening to the Call Guys podcast. You can find us wherever you get your podcasts, whether that be Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, wherever you get your podcasts. You can also find us on YouTube. Just search for the Call Guys podcast. We upload a video every single Monday when we air our episodes on all your favorite podcast sites. You can also find us on all your favorite social media accounts, whether that be Facebook at facebook.com/thecallguyspod, Instagram at thecallguys, and TikTok at thecallguyspodcast. Our link tree is posted in all of our podcast notes, along with the link trees for all of the other podcasts under the Golden Mojo Entertainment Network of podcasts. If you want to go check those out, you can always go find them on all your favorite podcast sites, whether that's the Golden Image Podcast, the Murdnerds, Indiana Chiefs Fans, the United States of Paranormal, and Friday, A Court of Books and Booze. You can find them all on Facebook, on all of your favorite podcast sites, wherever you need to go to find them. Their link trees are posted, websites are posted in our podcast notes, so please go check all those out. Give them some love.
Suck it, Emperor.
You know,
Thanks for having us.
He didn't do socials on Indiana
Thank you for
Chiefs
coming
fans.
on. Yeah, he completely skipped over me. Completely. But yeah,
no, thanks. I was gonna say thanks for coming on, Skylar, Amanda, Jess. Had a lot of fun. Hopefully you guys just take off and have a really good start to you guys' podcast careers. And just hopefully this gets off the ground. So good luck, and if you need any help, always feel free to contact Gunner.
I will give you all Colton's number so you can harass him through text message.
We'll just send you guys
And-
emails.
There you go. That too. Colton does read the emails
That's true.
about 2 seconds before we start recording. So
That way the reactions I have are genuine.
yeah,
That's
Nice
all I
and
want.
fresh,
Yeah.
very, very fresh.
Nothing scripted here on the call, guys. Trust us.
Well, if you look at my notes, everything's scripted. Colton, it's right here. No, for real.
sound that way?
For real, I'm excited for you guys. I'm excited to see how it goes for you, and I'll be listening every week. So
Gonna hold you to
Sweet.
it.
okay,
Yeah.
you got it.
Read along with
You
us.
got it. Yep.
But yeah, thanks for having us. We really appreciate it. We're excited. And yeah, thanks for asking us to join.
Yeah,
It was
well,
fun. What a
If
blast.
you ever want to come back on the Call Guys podcast, you're more than welcome.
Oh, and I'm supposed to tell you that Nick will be emailing you to get a time slot for your 1 year episode.
Okay.
Let's
Okay.
go.
Because he doesn't understand why he hasn't been asked on the podcast yet.
I mean, for
You
episode
talk to
52,
him at work, dude.
yeah, I know.
You
For
talk to him at work, man.
Episode 52, we said email us. So I don't know if you want to come on, but I will be sending out text messages to everybody that's been on and people that I want to come on too. So give it time.
It'll be fine. He'll be fine. He's just
Yeah.
sensitive. It's
I know.
okay.
It's, yeah, he's a sensitive boy. All right.
Colton, it was really nice to meet you. I listen to you
Hey.
every week, so it's good to see your face.
It's nice to meet you. Nice to meet a fellow avid listener. So, like I said, thanks for putting up with our shenanigans each and every week. So, just glad you could be a part of the chaos.
Wouldn't want to be anywhere else.
Yeah.
At least there was no big DC talk. So, Skywalker, I
Oh.
appreciate you.
We
You
got
know,
some, we got some
you wanna
time.
Oh,
I mean,
sure we got, yeah.
what do you want to talk about? We've this is a dead horse we're beating here.
Is
Okay.
Puppy learning how to bite, Colton?
Oh my gosh.
Colton, at their Christmas party, we went out to Hunter's afterwards, and Chris Clayton was telling me all about what you guys were going to talk about on the podcast because it hadn't released yet. He's like, my argument is that why can't you just have both? And he goes on and on. So I got the whole spiel well before it aired, and man, he was very passionate about that. I could tell.
He's very passionate. He wants to know why I can't be both. Why you can't be both. Okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So that's just not how I operate. There's only, there's a 1 and a 2. A 1
And
a
Marvel
2.
has both those slots.
If you ain't first, you're last.
So, no, I think it's a fun debate to have, and I think it's even better when someone like Chris comes on, or Skywalker, or Lucas. God love him for trying.
Lucas has a redemption episode coming. I'm just saying that.
He does. But
Has he been Has he been planning this for 6 months, doing all his research?
He has an idea that I think he's going to do really well with. So
it's actually a pretty good one. So, but
we'll let him roll with
anywho,
it.
I think it's a good talk to have. I just come from the realm of there is a winner and there's a loser. There are no ties in life, and sometimes you take some W's, sometimes you take some L's. So every time there's a DC talk, it's always an L for them. So that's all I gotta say.
It's entertaining. I'll give you that. It was really fun to listen to him just sit there and talk. So
well, I think the thing that I enjoyed from Chris's point of view, and I know we're getting ready to end this here soon, is that how we graded the movies and rated the movies was different than how I rated the movies, because I rated it from a business standpoint, he rated it from a rating standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
So I think what you got to do is you got to have like a quote unquote fair fight where everybody has the same parameters and this is what you're going off of and this is what you're using, and then you go from there.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's kind of what's fun about this debate, is that there's 1,000 ways to go. So
I tell you what, Colton, you go watch all the movies and the Arrowverse, and then we'll have a debate about it.
You know what? He'd be like, dude, you know what was really good about this show? Everything.
Because we can't have a fair fight if you haven't seen them.
That's true.
Oh my gosh.
That's true.
Why don't we can we just talk about Jonah Hex then? Let's just get that one over with.
Great.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Look at me with that face. Tell me more.
He's a great character in the Arrowverse.
I don't
100%. 100%.
I don't care.
Okay. Well, since Colt doesn't care, we're going to get out of here.
Yes, we are.
A court of books and booze. Thank you, the Skywalker, Banda, Jess. I'm looking forward to this Friday. I hope you guys are all looking forward to keep on putting out episodes and making a great podcast. So
thanks, guys.
everybody.
Thanks.
Yep. Everybody out there in podcast land. We'll see you next time.
Later.
That's not right.
Oh.
DC.
That was exactly what I thought it would be like.
DC sucks.